The Aloha Hour with Johnny and Dewey.
All right.
That sounds like me.
Guarantee. Well, welcome back, everyone. As usual, we have someone very, very special. I will try to make the introduction as best as I can. Throughout his life, he has been interested in exploration and discovery. This inner feeling led him to join the military after high school. Up until now, he has been to 27 countries, 43 American states, 5 war zones, touched all oceans and the North Pole. He is a master hula dancer, NASA rocket engineer, professional photographer, adrenaline junkie, hunter, a Mauna Kea Advocate, volcano enthusiast, and astrophysicist. While working as a junior scientist at Gemini North Telescope, him and his team discovered 57 Dwarf Galaxies. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very proud to introduce Leomana Turalde.
Hey,
what's up, my brother?
Aloha, just like the opening. Aloha mai kako.
Right on. What a pleasure. Such an honor to have you here, man.
Mahalo.
I think he's the most educated, the most seasoned human being ever come to the show. We never had an astrophysicist with all the things you accomplish.
You know what?
You don't have a life at Leomana. There's no way you have a life. Look at all the things you're doing.
You know
This
what?
is his life.
Yeah,
This
I know.
is-
This is incredible.
Actually, I tell people hula is life.
yeah. Oh,
So, yeah.
Absolutely.
You know, I actually spend a lot of time doing work, and this year has been really hard because I've been trying to explain to my partner how much time it takes to do science work.
Yeah.
And I think this year, even though I've done a lot of science work, it's the least amount of investing I've done in my education because it does require all your free time.
Yeah.
For the last maybe 5 years, I have had no free time. It's just hula and space and rockets and engineering and teaching and
Oh, wait, take us
Yeah.
back, right?
Yeah,
You're
take
ready.
us
I
back.
know.
Walk us
Yeah,
through.
You go.
Walk us
You
through.
go. I know exactly what Johnny's thinking.
Okay, we started from the
hold
beginning.
Hold on. Take us back. Hilo boy. Little boy
a
growing up in Hilo.
long time ago. I was born on the island of Maui. My dad's name is John Aviel Turalde. My mom is John Lee Nani Robinson, from the Robinson family. I was born May 13th, 1987. My dad had been paralyzed for about 5 years. So my dad is he's a commercial fisherman, commercial diver. He would dive for black coral. They grow out at like 200. Yeah, you know. Yeah,
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He got paralyzed at 25. Met my mom in rehab, and maybe 2 years later, had me, got married. Me and my brother, and that's where I started, on Maui in Kihei. My mom was a dancer at the Hawaiian Luau.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so she was like this pretty show girl, and my dad was the intense, just became paralyzed, adrenaline junkie. And I just learned, my mom met him the second day she was working there, and he was paralyzed for 6 days, and he joined the Honolulu Marathon on day number 5. He just said, you know what? I'm going to try this. I'm not letting anything hold me back. And so he signed up. My mom heard about it inside the rehab and had to meet him. And I was like, oh, okay, I love you, I think. Let's get married, have a kid. And I'm their eldest.
That's
That's incredible love story itself. How many brothers and sisters?
Same parents is me and my younger brother, who's 11 months, 11 days younger than I am.
Wow.
But total, I have 5 brothers, 5 sisters. And the youngest one is Dina. She is 11.
Okay.
Oh, 12. She's 12 right now. And then my eldest is 45. My eldest sister lives in Vegas right now.
All right. Where's the spark for space and science comes along? Because it sounds like to me hula is almost like a natural, because your mom. Yeah. Where's the curiosity came from science and education and all that? I'm fascinated.
So I went to Hawaiian immersion growing up. I was Kulakaio Puni o Keokaha. I was one of the first graduating classes to speak Hawaiian, Olelo Hawaii, from kindergarten. And in 7th grade, I met Kaliko Trapp. I don't know if you guys ever heard of him. He's kind of the pioneer of Hawaiian language.
Right.
And he came out with the original Hawaiian language DVDs, CDs to learn the language. He was my science teacher in 7th grade, and he took me to a Onizuka science fair. So Ersen Onizuka is from Kona on the Big Island, and he died in the explosion of the shuttle. And they had science fairs for NASA over there just to kind of promote him. And I remember I entered the science fair, and it was all in English. I only spoke Hawaiian. I wrote in Hawaiian, and I won my division, but I lost later on because I couldn't answer questions. My paper was all in a different language. They couldn't judge me. And I remember thinking, man, it's so cool that these guys go up into space and nobody ever goes there. And I remember hearing about how Hawaiians found the islands. And I was, you know what? I think I got to be like my grandpa and grandma and go explore the universe. And so that was kind of where it started off. Then I remember 2 months after, I got to go to the island of Kauai. My grandma had a taco shop, and that was the first time I looked in a telescope. So she lived in Kilauea on Kauai, and the moon was out, full moon, one night, and her husband just set up the telescope and was like, hey, look in this hole, and you're going to see the craters on the moon. And I thought it was volcanoes. Yeah, I was like, oh, there's volcanoes on the moon, just like the Big Island, just like at home. I can start. If there's volcanoes on the moon, I got volcanoes right in my backyard. Let's go study the moon. 2 years later, I studied what that was, and it was actually impact craters. So all the impact craters on the moon, the meteors, asteroids hit, and they blow out instead of at an angle, just because the impact is so big. And I remember thinking, not that many people could answer my questions. Let's go in this direction. It took a while. I eventually got to space, but it took up until this past maybe 4 or 5 years. Hard work.
Wow. That is incredible. Like the whole time you're telling me that, I got chicken skin. I was like looking at my hair.
Well, but you know that's the fast forward kind of story.
Yeah, that was a fast forward kind of story.
But, you know, I know because we read a lot about you, and I know how much you said that the training of hula. I think just people don't understand how hula, how intense and how much dedication it takes. I mean, I read the hours that you mentioned that you guys are training. That's insane.
Yeah, man. When I think about hula, I think about 5 days a week, 5 hours a day for 5 months straight on one mele. So a mele, people get confused with a mele and a oli. So a oli is a chant, and a mele is anything that you sing that people dance to. So if you can do a oli, a chant, and people dance to it, then it becomes a mele. That's my understanding from where I come from. But I guess I'm going to start right after the military with hula. My dad, I got out of the Marines, and I was looking for some, I guess, band of brothers to be a part of and help me kind of cool down and relax and become a part of the common society again. And my dad said, hey, long time ago, all the warriors used to dance hula. That's what his grandpa told him. A lot of my family were in the military. And so I decided, you know what? I got to go find the halau. And I actually started in Hilo with Kahiki Laulani with my friend Noeau. And I asked him, yeah, can I join halau? I need something to do to keep my mind busy and occupied. Give me some space to just be aggressive. And I didn't want to get into jiu-jitsu yet again and then start boxing again. I didn't want that warrior mentality to come out in the gym and have like competition with my friends. So I decided to join hula, not knowing how intense it was.
Wait, hold on. So you didn't go to college after high school. You went to military.
I actually went to college right after high school.
Yeah.
But I was getting straight Fs. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Yeah, I joined UH over here, and then me and my friends just first time adults, we get to drink all night, fake IDs. Oahu just started their fake IDs on Waikiki Strip. And we're playing video games. Video games are a popular thing. Smash Bros. For everybody out there who played Smash Bros. So we would stay up all night, party, play video games, not make it to class. And then I started to get bad grades. And my girlfriend at the time, she got pregnant. And so I was like, man, I'm going to have a kid. I'm getting bad grades. I'm not taking care of my responsibilities. I was really ashamed of the character I was portraying and the attitude I was having, and just looking at my dad and where I came from, I was kind of disappointed in myself and said, I got to do something. I can't
That is
fail.
beautiful, Leomana.
Yeah.
That is so beautiful, what you just said.
Having kids is such a fucking... Oh, man, that kind of kicked my ass.
Yeah,
and so put me into gear, and I said, you know what? I'm 18 right now. I'm going to have a kid when I'm 19.
Yeah.
I got to do something with my life. And so I talked to a recruiter. My mom took me to go talk to a recruiter. I thought about joining the Air Force. I wanted to become a test pilot, to become a shuttle pilot. But then the Air Force guy took a lunch break at 10 o'clock in Kaneohe. So I walked up, and the Marine said, hey, those guys take breaks for lunch at 10 o'clock. They're lazy. They don't work hard. If you want to work hard, come talk to me. And I saw the Special Forces poster of the guy skydiving on his door.
Yeah.
And I said, if I can do that, I'll join right now. I'll join right now if I can do this. And he's, come in, Hawaiian. And
You signed up. So
within
what was
5
the,
minutes.
Yeah, what was it like for those 4 years? Did you really, what country did you see? Did you get to, I don't know what I have to say, but did you go to battle? Was there a conflict they sent you to? What was that like for those 4 years?
So I joined the Force Reconnaissance Group in the Marines. It's kind of like a Special Forces ready group.
Yeah.
We are out here, I guess we're the Special Forces detachment out here in Hawaii. And we have sniper teams. We actually have Special Forces dolphins with the Navy. So on Kaneohe Marine Corps base, we got like a big dolphin cage, and the Navy SEALs come in with the dolphins.
Wow, I never heard about
I
that.
never knew that.
Crazy, yeah.
That's insane.
So what was your role? What was the task they kind of trained you to do for those 4 years?
My time in the military was I guess funny, because I guess I'm going to start. So 18, I joined the military. I see the poster. I'm like, if I can jump out of the plane, I'll sign up for that. I had no clue who the Marines were, what they did.
Yeah.
I didn't, I'm Hawaiian. Everyone is anti-military, and the Marines took over Hawaii and stole the kingdom. And so all the Hawaiians in Kilkaha kind of were disappointed.
Yeah.
A lot of my family, even my dad was like, I didn't have you so you can join the military and move away.
Yeah.
I had you so you can stay home, be Hawaiian, and do Hawaiian stuff. So I met the recruiter. I signed up for a 5-year contract. Usually the contracts are about 4 years, because the normal infantry, we do 4 years. But if you specialize in a Special Forces, the pipeline of training is 3 years, because we got to go to all the extra schools. So I signed up for 5 years. And when I went to boot camp, I was promised to come home for my daughter being born.
Yeah.
But because I wasn't married, there was like a technical issue. Like, oh, that's technically not your wife. That's technically not your kid until the kid is born. And then we can send you home the day after. And so I was in boot camp, and I tried everything to get kicked out. Like, the basic training was easy. I was homesick. I just felt so betrayed. I'm like, you fuckers lied to me. Yeah. You told me I could go home to see my kid. Ohana is a big value in the Hawaiian community. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
F the government, F the Marines, send me home. My kid, is more important than all of you. So I got into a lot of fights. I broke everyone's stuff. I tried to get kicked out. Luckily, all the drill instructors, they saw the talent, and they're like, we're not going to kick you out no matter what you do, because we need you.
Yeah.
But I went to MCRD San Diego in 2005, right after high school. Spent 3 months there at basic boot camp. I went to infantry training after that. After that, I went to jump school, and I got sent to Alaska for a shooting package. They send us to private industry shooting packages, and there I got to shoot almost all the foreign weapons. We did CQB, close quarters battle. I got to train with the Air Force pararescue jumpers, so like the number one rescue teams on the planet in Alaska, and that's where we got to go to the North Pole. We jumped on a C-130 and skydived into the Arctic Circle.
Oh my god!
Yeah, so that was so beautiful. I was like 20. I was like 19, 20 years old. And here we are, 32,000 feet, suited up, mask, and I just remember like, fuck, this is the Call of Duty video games, and and my friend has his dog attached to his chest, and even the dog had a mask.
Right.
And I remember like, fuck, this is the most elite hunter warrior shit you could do.
Right.
oh, I'm so pumped. I love this life.
Yeah.
So that was the beginning of my traveling the world. And then after that, I've been to Afghanistan, Iraq, a couple other places.
Yeah, yeah. 27 of them.
27 of them. Not I can't name all of them.
Yeah.
Because we did a couple of missions in some
Yeah.
places that.
Which one most memorable? Which one day, you can take your daughter back and kind of go, you know what, I want to share this with you because this place is so special, or had deep impact on your memory? What do you think?
The day before I left on my deployment, my mom gave me a Bible. And custom made with my name embroidered on the front. And I grew up Christian, going to church all the way until I was 18, mandatory. And I'm not super religious, but I remember one day in Iraq, I was bored and I opened the Bible. And I just started reading the story because I wanted to call her and said, hey, I read at least half of the book. And then I started reading of the stories in the Bible.
Old Testament or New Testament, just for fun. Sorry.
I actually read the Bible 5 times so front to back.
Okay.
Just so I could do Bible stuff. I wanted to have like debates about the Bible. But
Yeah. I get it.
I love the Old Testament.
Yeah, okay.
Because there's some stuff about tattoos. And I'm like, tattoos, scarring, and, don't dye your hair. Don't wear 2 different types of cloth.
Yeah.
But I remember they're just talking about where all the figures in the Bible walked. And I looked at the map that we're covering. And I said, wow, this is the same exact area. The same exact spots on the planet. And I remember sitting down with my team that day and like, hey, where's the next missions going? Where? And I got to like call my mom and say, hey, remember this story in the Bible? I'm going to that same town. And when I got to that town, there was one lady, she had about 7 kids, and she hadn't seen her husband in 2 months. Just 2 months ago, my husband left and didn't come back. And we all knew it's either he's a terrorist and he died, or he just was a casualty of war and he died.
Yeah.
And I remember looking at her kids, and she had a baby and a little girl, and my daughter was 1. And I kind of just like broke down. And I was like, man, this is the path Jesus walked on. And, we're just going to leave this lady here. Her husband died 2 months ago. She has 7 kids. She has no car, like 20, 30 miles away from life. In the middle of the desert, what can I do for this lady that my mom will be proud about? And I remember I just unloaded all the gallons of water. We had all the stacks of water, and I gave her all of it. So we can starve. We can suffer for the next 3 days in the desert. Like, we need to give you water. You got kids. You don't got your husband. It's been 2 months. Here you go. And I just gave her all the food that we had. And to me, that was the most memorable part, because I can remember thinking of her every day and be like, man, you got 7. You got 7 kids. Your husband died, and you're still out here in the middle of the desert loving your kids. And I hope I can love my kid as much as you do.
Wow.
Yeah, and I called my mom, and I was, Mom, guess what? I gave this lady some water.
Yeah.
And it was like, yeah, that don't mean anything to me. But to me,
Yeah.
that I was like, fuck.
In that context,
That was a kuleana on my mom, my dad.
Yeah, in that context, it's so powerful. It's Oh, I can't imagine 7 children in the middle of a desert, and what do you need in the desert? Water, and you
Water.
give her. You are the most. That's more than gold.
That was
How's your lens change, you think, when you're done with the military? Well, 4 years later, you're coming in there as a young father, right, age 18 or 19, really feeling, I got to do something so my parents can be proud and do something for my daughter. And 4 years later, and you watch almost the most horrific human can do to one another, right? I'd like to know what was your lens after 4 years? And then what's next in your head? Because from there, astrophysicist, science, and everything else. Because I think it's so important, Leomana. There's so many kids in Hilo. There's so many kids in Outer Island lives in like a remote town, right? That they never felt they could do what you do. But I think if you can take them there, I think the audience.
hope, yeah?
Yeah.
Give all of
That's
them hope.
it. That's all we need.
I know.
H-O-P-E, Ra.
Even though I do all this stuff,
Yeah.
I need it too still.
Yeah, we still do. Every one of us need it.
I always
swear
need
to-
something to hope for, to work hard for. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think
What was your transformation? What was your mind? And what was going through after 4 years of seeing muck?
After the first deployment, I was kind of convinced that maybe all of this terrorist talk is not really. I don't know. I got real political after that. I'm like, man, maybe like September 11th, the buildings bombing was an inside job.
Yeah.
You know, I wasn't really into conspiracies then because I was really emotional. Like, nah.
Yeah.
My friends died. I got a lot of friends who got killed in war, and I don't want to think like that. But after I got back, I seen a lot of things that kind of made me change my perspective about countries going to battle and conflict, and just seeing how much money got pumped into wars. Just private contractors, people getting paid, us blowing up towns that we don't need to go into. There's nothing there. There's no one there. We just destroy a whole town. And the U.S. government paid some contractor to come in and rebuild the town. And I remember being so disappointed after my first deployment because I lost a lot of friends. And I asked myself, why every day? Why did I lose my friend? Why did we go to war? Why did we go enter that town? They give us the opportunity to, and I'm a trained elite warrior, and I want to. You know, they give you, I got about $9 million worth of training.
Wow.
And they say, here, this is what you need to find. Go find it. And they give you all the toys that you need. You want to do a mission here? Okay, just, write up what you guys want to do, and we'll give you a day, and we'll okay it if we want to. We'll give you tanks. We'll give you helicopters. We'll give you grenades, rocket launchers, whatever you want. Just go do the search for weapons of mass destruction. I didn't find them. And so I came home thinking, all I want to do is farm and have kids.
Yeah.
I just want to be a farmer and have kids.
Yeah.
And after I got back from my first deployment, I said, farm and have kids.
Yeah.
Like all the great generals. I started reading all the military books of all great leaders. And in the end of their life.
Which one's your favorite?
Probably this book called Military Leadership.
Okay.
By this German man, Vaughn.
Okay.
And it talks about how to be a leader while people in your charge are, while people are getting killed, while people in your charge are not making it, how to stay focused on the task, and how to make sure everyone else that you're in charge of that's still around, they're taken care of. Forget all the emotional part. You got a couple of months until you can go home and take care of that. But for right now, complete the mission. And when the mission is done, then worry about all that other stuff. But until the mission is done, we got shit to do, people to take care of, and missions to accomplish.
Got it.
Yeah.
So you read a lot of leadership book, and then when you get out, you basically want to be farm and really be a father and just raise your children. When did the ignite of science and space and the wonder of the start coming into your life?
Okay, so I think when I was 9, I always wanted to become an astrophysicist. I didn't know what the title of the occupation was. I just fuck space science. I want to study planets and stuff. I was going to school for psychology when I was I think I was maybe 4th grade, and I 4 years of school, and I got straight Fs. Yeah. And I was thinking, maybe I'm stupid. Maybe I'm not smart at all because my brain, the memory housing is small. And so if I can increase my memory, then I'll be smarter. And so that's what I was thinking in elementary.
More RAM, and more RAM.
Yep. More processing power, more RAM, memory. Let's get 20 terabytes. And so I was studying psychology. In 2015, that's when Kukia I Mauna Kea Aole TMT Part 1 started happening. Yeah. And I remember my friend called me up the night before and said, hey, we're going to go sleep on Mauna Kea and block these trucks trying to come up and build one more telescope. Yeah. And I said, okay, shit, I'm flying home. I'm going to go stay on Mauna Kea with you guys. I ended up flying home and not leaving for 2-3 months and sleeping on Mauna Kea at the visitor center in a tent right across the street. And that took me right back into military mode. I know how to sleep in a tent. I grew up poor in a tent. I was in the military. I love this shit. So I stayed there for 2 months. And every single day, we watched the Milky Way come out. And we watched the stars come out. And all the scientists that came up stopped at the visitor center. And I'll just go talk to them. Hey, aloha, what's up? Where you guys from? Tell me something about space. And they'll be so excited to talk. Everyone who moves to Hawaii that's not Hawaiian, they want to be friends with Hawaiians, yeah? Like, so fuck yeah, Hawaiians. Because they knew we got to Hawaii off of the stars. And so I would talk to the scientists every day. And I remember sitting in the tent one time talking about aliens with my friends. And like, man, what about aliens? And we're looking at the Milky Way come up.
Do you think they exist?
Kind of.
Yeah.
We'll get to the aliens existing later.
Okay.
I was hoping we'll talk about aliens.
Yeah, we can talk. Hey, this is your hour. You can do whatever you want. This is you, Leomana.
Yeah, so 2015, me and the guys are sleeping on Mauna Kea in our tent, and girls and ladies and all the Kia'i Mauna and all the Hawaiians and everyone who loves Mauna Kea. And, we're just sitting out talking about aliens. And I remember feeling like I have Mauna Kea. Mauna Kea is my home. This is where I'm from. I think I'm disappointed in myself that I allow non-Hawaiians to be the people who manage and caretake this area. And why don't we have a native Hawaiian scientist up here? We found Hawaii based off of the stars, based off of Makali'i, the Pleiades, and I told myself we don't have any Hawaiian representation in the science STEM field. I gotta go. And so after that 2 months, I came back to Oahu because I was living here dancing hula full time with Kawaili Ula and Chiki Mahoi. And I remember walking into my counselor's office and saying, I'm done with psychology. I'm going to go be a space scientist. I'm going to go be an astrophysicist. And they said, okay, let me call my friend and introduce you to one of my colleagues and we'll get you there. Hell yeah. So 2015, I switched my major. I quit my job over here at Papahana Kua'ola, nonprofit. And I started the astrophysics track at UH Manoa. And that was the last, 5 years of my life.
Wow.
Really intense. I remember being scared. I remember thinking, fuck, this is like NASA. This is fucking NASA. This is the space agencies. And these guys, they're not the kind of guys to like, oh, let me go talk about aliens and bullshit. Let me actually go calculate some smart shit, put some stuff in space and figure it out.
You're not that dumb after all. You realize that, right?
Yeah. Maybe. I'm still trying to figure that out. So yeah, that was the beginning of the astrophysics in my life. And just, I guess feeling the confidence, not based off of any external motivation, just me and my friends sitting down on Mauna Kea, all the Hawaiians. I don't think any of the other guys went to college.
Right.
I feel like maybe we had a hard time graduating from high school, and I'm over here talking with someone, like, I still consider these guys some of the smartest people I know.
Yeah.
Because how our conversation goes about how do we find aliens and, just like, okay, breaking it down scientifically, but not having the mathematics and physics behind it, but just the philosophy of it. I thought, man, this is enough to figure it out. This is enough for me to go and pursue this degree. And so I went. Yeah,
but you've been in school and you've gone through the whole, whatever, education and get your degree and all that. Having a college degree doesn't mean you're intelligent whatsoever or educated. None whatsoever. Absolutely not. Yeah, so I think you're absolutely correct. Like there's many people I've met who are brilliant that I love and respect, have 0 degree. The two people that I admire are extremely brilliant and bright, successful and all that stuff. They all drop out of college, So I think the society, right? We think, have a degree meaning you're intelligent, but also I met people with degree and I'm kind of, oh my God, I wouldn't let that person come in my house and vacuum out for it.
No, 100%.
Yeah. So I want to know though, having now, right, this spiritual side, because you're Hawaiian, and now you're a scientist, right? You sit in this almost like a dilemma, right?
Super dilemma on
Mauna
Mauna Kea.
Right, exactly. Because there's a side.
I'm standing in the middle, and everybody is like, ayo.
Yeah. So
where's my friends?
Yeah.
Where my friends at?
Share with us and the audience. Kind of go, man. I believe what they're trying to do is for goodness of humanity, right?
Yeah.
It really is. What they're trying to do, what they're trying to build Mauna Kea. And the other side, as being Hawaiian, and also now as a scientist, what goes through your mind? Like, like, how do you, like, when that whole thing happened, I was like, so at first I was like, gosh, like I'm always in the lens of the greater purpose for humanity is always my lens. But I also realize because of what we have done to so many subculture, indigenous culture in the world since the beginning of man, we erase them because that's what we're going to do. And I'm anti that at all level.
Yeah.
And that was me, right? So it's like, I'm too in conflict. Yes, I want to see a telescope because it's going to help expand our knowledge about the universe. So hundreds of thousands of years later, humanity will benefit. But if it's a cost of losing the Hawaiian culture, because it's been so much diluted already since the beginning of time, I'm anti that. But I'm not involved. I wasn't there, you know, but I know a lot of people did. And I'm telling you, world class, what all of you guys did in Big Island speaks out loud about our culture and our belief in Aloha and Ohana.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Totally.
No, seriously.
Yeah.
That's one thing that I heard coming back and observe the world. And I think we did it right for the first time in the conflict.
For the first time, yeah.
I know, for the first time of conflict.
And it was peaceful. There's
It
no
was
burning
beautiful.
shit. There's no
it was
knocking,
so
you know.
wonderful. If we can do that all over the world, we wouldn't have what we would witness in our country the last 9 months. It's insanity.
Yeah.
Right? I'm rambling, but I want to go back to you, Leomana, as a young Hawaiian, also a young astrophysicist, and sitting here. Share with us your mind thoughts. Share with us what was good through your mind and what would you like to achieve if you were God for the day. What would you like to see what happened? Because up deep inside of you, you would love this thing getting made. Not on Mauna Kea. No, not on Mauna Kea. Yeah.
Maybe.
But
See,
maybe not. I don't know. But I would love to hear your perspective.
I actually, you know, on day number 2, I came up with an answer already. And I know a lot of Hawaiians and Aloha Aina, they're going to be disappointed because at the end of the day, do I want this thing built? Yeah, I think I do. But am I fighting for it? No, I'm not. I got to fight for my people first. It's always about the people. And how you said, like, hey, in thousands of years, is this going to benefit humanity? It is. It is.
100%.
And I think over the past couple of months, I've realized how, because I did a project on these new planets. I don't know if you guys pay attention to planets or anything. Pluto is a dwarf planet, and we're kind of changing the nomenclature of what a planet is, right? According to size, what it's made out of, the gases, where it's located. Is it far outside of the inner solar system? Is it out, inside? So we have the 12, 13, 14 planets, which is Haumea, Hi'iaka, and a couple of dwarf planets, all Hawaiian. If you guys type in Povehi is the black hole, the first optical picture we get of a black hole, and our first interstellar traveler, Oumuamua. So to me, Hawaiian culture is represented fucking big in astronomy, in astrophysics, in the science fields.
Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah. I'm so pumped. I'm so pumped about this. Leading the way.
Yeah.
And going back into Hawaiian history, it's like if you just invest, at least 20 hours in understanding where we come from as Hawaiians and how we got here, really. Like how we really got here. Not just jump on a canoe and the birds go that way, but the information it takes for us to look at the stars and say, hey, those stars are right there. Let's fucking go this way. We're going to find Hawaii this way. The intuition that we need on the inside, by the way, that's Makali'i. The Pleiades. If you're in Tahiti during May, the first weekend of May, and you see the Southern Cross comes up, turn around the opposite way is Hawaii. That's how we got here. But having that knowledge and instinct in us, that comes from people building the pyramids. That comes from the Egyptians. And when I said I read the Bible, this is one thing I got out of the Bible. Moses goes into the, to rescue his people. They come out, they get stuck in the desert. God isn't happy with what they're doing, and he leaves them there. Bang. And they just go missing. couple
40 years.
Yeah, 40. Well, I mean, they say 40 years, right? But if you read about how they, I guess, tell time in the Bible, 40 years means whatever years. It just means, fuck.
It could have been 40 days, motherfucker.
Yeah, it could have been 40 years, 400 years.
Yeah.
You know, people are living to like 980 years. Noah was like 1,000 years old.
Yeah. They had G-Shock back in the day.
Yeah. No quantum.
That's a good argument,
Yeah.
right? Moses was 90, of course, because every week is a year.
So
He actually died 23, motherfucker.
You read a lot
At
of
least he
Old
had a good
Testament,
life.
obviously.
Not Jewish.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, hey, right on.
Yeah.
So I started reading the Bible, and that's why it inspired me to be Hawaiian. Like, hey. And so now I read the history of Hawaiians, where we come from, and now I'm correlating that to how we name the planets. So if we read the Bible, and then we kind of follow where the information goes, the knowledge, not the people, not the, not like, the figures, but follow the knowledge. Like, okay, these guys started finding planets, and then they started building structures, and then this happens, and then, the pottery changes, and then the stories change to this theme. Eventually, you find yourself going across Europe, into China, into Asia, and then we start naming the planets. We find this planet, it's the easiest planets to find. The culture that finds them names them. But if you follow the evolution of that culture, we eventually follow the migration of these people until they become Hawaiian. The Polynesians found the latest planet. Look, we have the planets Oumuamua, we have Haumea, Hi'iaka, we have that now. But if you follow our history, the people who named the planets, they're the same people. And that's kind of what pushed me, like, fuck. Bro, this is your people. This is how you got here. You named the planets along the whole way. We just called you something different. And the language you spoke was a little different. And that was kind of my push into space. That was kind of my push into not being so particular with my own emotions about Mauna Kea.
I have still a quick question about Mauna Kea. One thing that I didn't understand, I mean, there were all kind of different, scenarios where they said that it will ruin the water source, it will ruin this. But what is it really doing as far as, is it ruin the land to have that?
So, Mauna Kea right now, the whole summit from, I think, 8,000 feet is fenced off around the whole thing. And that's to protect Mauna Kea and the wildlife from the sheep, the goats. Number one is the cattle. And number two behind the cattle is the pigs. And the main reason is because these animals, they destroy the watershed by taking out the ohia forest. So you guys know rapid ohia death, ohia love is a real important thing on the Big Island, because out of the watershed and the forest in Hakalau and the ohia trees, that's where we get our water for poliahu, the snow. So the water evaporates out of these trees, become the clouds rain, becomes the snow, becomes the rain, and that's how Mauna Kea gets the snow and the rain and the water. And so a lot of the destruction is happening because humans are just in the area. Now it's the animals, but mostly because humans are in the area. And we bring in the gorse, the plants that just take out all of our native wildlife and the flora and fauna. And it's not so much for humans to use. It's more of like, if we don't take care of this place, Mauna Kea is not going to snow anymore. And without the snow and the rain, we don't get Waiau, which is the highest body of water on the planet, liquid body. Right. And without Waiau, we don't have all this water going into all the lava tubes, because there's a lot of lava tubes on the Big Island still yet, up at elevation. And these lava tubes come out of Lake Waiau, and they pop up randomly on the slopes of Mauna Kea. And you can come across the Arctic tundra and just walk maybe 10 miles on the slopes and come across like a 150-foot tree on the top of the world. And that one tree is fed by one lava tube coming off of Mauna Kea. And so these are the kind of things that we're talking about. We're not really talking about human life.
Yeah.
Because we don't belong up there anyway. Most of the engineers in the telescopes, they go crazy after a little while living on the top of Mauna Kea. They, low oxygen. It's about 60%.
Jonathan, have you been?
No.
You gotta go. I'm telling you, I weep. Like, I literally weep.
Mm-hmm.
I went for the first time. I was like, something
No, I
about
heard
it.
that the energy over there.
Yeah,
is
it's
something-
crazy.
it's
It was freezing ass
incredible.
cold, and Jen and I couldn't really, and I sat there and like I literally just sit there and I just weep. That was it.
I wanted
So
to go
powerful,
with my
yeah?
kids.
Yeah, it's just yeah.
Yeah, please come, bring your kids. It's the, I mean, I don't share this story often, but I saw someone die on Mauna Kea because they looked at the stars and had a heart attack. This man was like 60 years old at the visitor center, and it was the first time he saw stars.
Yeah.
I live in the city, and he had a heart attack because he thought the Milky Way was like,
Yeah.
the Milky Way is so bright. Is that eating the planet? Like, what's going on? And he just had a heart attack and low oxygen up there, and he eventually died. But I tell people it's so impactful being up at Mauna Kea that people, like, they die just by the vastness of it all. It's
Yeah.
pretty intense.
It's weird. I can't explain it, to be honest with you.
Are there still people there right now?
Yeah, there's people living up there 24/7. There's a lot of
Scientists, yeah.
the scientists live on the
No,
top.
but I'm talking about protesters.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So, I guess
Yeah, how did it fade away? Like it lost its charm? Like why it's not still in the social media? Coronavirus took over. Nobody cares about Mauna Kea.
Nighttime gets down to like 10 degrees. That's why. Yeah, you gotta really starting at Mauna Kea Road, it gets down to 10 degrees during the winter. Sometimes you'll wake up in the morning, and if it's before the sunrise, the ground will just be frozen. You take one step, all the ice cracks and then melts.
Jonathan, we had a cheap ass rental car. It couldn't make it up because there's not enough oxygen to go through.
How do you always have to take the cheap car?
I know, because I'm
They
broke.
asked him, "Do you want to have the full?"
It's $74
He's like,
for the full drive G.
Do you have a
Nah.
smart car? Do you have something smaller? What do you have smaller? What smaller?
Yeah.
You have
I
a
booked
scooter?
online.
Let me
It was a
think.
Toyota Echo.
Oh, you gotta
For
go through
twen-
Expedia.
Yeah, for $29.99. So of course,
You know why? Because he's thinking
Okay,
the
bro.
Hawaiians
Okay,
used to walk
yeah,
this back in the
yeah.
day. Let me get close to that.
I
Yeah.
know. And I, like Jenna go, why don't we turn around? Goes, no, we're here. It's like our son was born in big. I mean, anyway. So, and we got up there, and it was so cold. Right, you have to go through and process all that. And because it's too cold, and I stood to the side, and I just stood there in silence, and something about it. It's just
What
incredible.
about the breathing? Was it hard to breathe?
No, it was just cold. But I can tell you, the car could barely made
Yeah.
it up. It's weird.
But it's cars make it up like that because you need a big engine.
Yeah.
Because there's 60% oxygen at that
Yeah.
elevation.
Yeah.
So the engine's got to work really hard. So if you have like a turbo or something that sucks
Yeah.
a lot of air in,
Yeah.
then the car can run normal. But a lot of people break down because they forget it's above 10,000 feet.
Yeah.
Your car is going to get about 5 degrees. So all the hoses will crack and melt and freeze. Some basic stuff that just don't work up at that elevation. So that's the problem really.
Yeah.
So the engine is really small, and I went up in an Echo. I had the small in high school. I had a Toyota Tercel, the egg. It was a 91
it's the
91
same
Tercel.
thing.
Yeah.
Tercel and Echo it's the same
I went
shit.
up in reverse.
yeah.
I was 14. Thank you, Dad. My dad is in a wheelchair, and he got me. I was in 10th grade when he got me my first car because he has a hard time driving. He drives with his canes.
Yeah.
So he drives, and he's, you know what? I'm gonna get you your own fucking car so you can go on your own. And at 14, me and my good friend Keiko, we are the only 10th graders with cars.
10th grader with cars. Oh my god.
Hey, Big Island country life. Yeah. Yeah.
It's
You
different.
have two daughters. It's coming, Jonathan. Whether you like it or not, those
Yeah.
two girls gonna be driving and
I'm not giving them my truck.
Yeah.
Hey, man, take the truck. Give me the small car.
Yeah.
My daughter is 14, so I got, she's already telling me I get to have my permit next year.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
And then my girlfriend let her drive the beach. We have like a Honolulu beach. There's like a 300-yard drive down the hill.
Yeah.
Can I drive the truck down? I want to look cool in front of my friends. All right.
All right.
Okay, you can. Yeah. We got
Hey,
one
but
PO in
she's
Mauna
cool
Kea.
as fuck right now.
Yeah, I
Everybody.
know.
Big Island, you got to practice for this stuff. 'Cause, hey, it's dangerous. We got Waipio, and everybody wants to visit Waipio, and the road is dangerous, Mauna Kea. And so I just want to send my kids off to these places knowing that they can drive, knowing they know how to operate vehicles in the weather, the climate, the altitude. And so yeah, I don't mind starting them young. But yeah, I used to go up in Mauna Kea in reverse.
Well, tell us a little bit. I know you were part of the Imua project, where you basically build a rocket, and your rocket, you and your team, your rocket flew 4,333 something.
Yeah. It goes however high it goes. You know, one thing with rockets, this is what all the engineers say. Love your rocket while you have it, because every fucking rocket blows. I mean, if you look at SpaceX, even their high-tech, big...
Oh, we're going to get into
We're
that
gonna
later.
get into
Yeah, we're
SpaceX.
going to get into that later.
Yeah.
though.
Elon.
Yeah.
So, Project 6, Imua Project 6, right on. Shout out to those guys. So every year, a lot of space agencies and NASA is kind of going downhill right now because there's a lot of private industry coming up. But they put out like future missions and what we want to accomplish in the next 10 years. And they give you like a criteria sheet. And they say, hey, build something that meets this criteria. And they have a process we got to go through to get accepted. And it's super cool going through, it was actually through Windward, UH system, but the head instructor, Jacob Hudson, he's a rocket engineer certified over, I think he's Hawaii's only one. Shout out Jake, what's up? Jake.
We love you. We love you.
I love that guy. You know, he's a Portuguese guy from Kahaluu.
Yeah, Kahaluu.
I think I was one of the only Hawaiians he ever had in his class because when I came in, he looked at me and he was like, "Brother, I'm from Kahaluu." Right, you know, fully Portuguese brother, but I love that guy. You know, he taught me physics. He was my physics teacher for all my basic physics, and he was the head of the Imua project. And so yeah, Project Imua. If anybody's interested, just Google Project Imua if you're in college, and they gave us this sheet that says, hey, we want you to build a rocket to reach this altitude, and at this altitude we want a drone to pop out. The drone needs to hover down to Earth, get to Earth safely on the way down. Some people, we want air samples every 100 yards coming down, hovering. And every 100 yards, you take an air sample, you land. And when you land, you get your bearing. You drive 50 feet and start taking soil samples. And this needs to happen all autonomously. So once you press the go button and it launches off,
That's
No
it.
one touching.
no one touching. The fucking rocket goes up. It explodes, makes it, whatever, comes out, drone comes down, hovering, touches the ground. It needs to take the air samples, fucking needs to drive and do 4 soil samples. So 50 feet, take a soil sample, 50 feet, soil sample. And then we're not that rich. Some people got like soil samples with lasers and they examine the gas off the laser and they shoot it back. We're from Hawaii. We're not that rich, so we just take the soil sample because that's all that that's required. But it was fun. It was actually in Alabama. I got to go to the Space Exploration Center and be one of like the few native Hawaiian guys to ever go there. And yeah, it was real fun. It was an opportunity, and it exposed me to other scientists out there. So I got to hang out with all the people working at Tennessee on all the nuclear fusion and all the space industry, get freaking recognized by Boeing, Lockheed, Northrop Grumman. You know, these guys are aeronautic industry engineers, and I was the only scientist there because I'm the only one studying astrophysics. Everyone is mechanical engineering.
Yeah, more engineers.
Yeah. I was like, wow. I'm the only real scientist here. What's up, guys? And, bro, they're all stoked. Fucking Hawaii. Yeah.
What do you think about SpaceX?
I love it. I love them pushing the boundaries. I love what they do. I love that they don't give a shit that their rockets blow up because that's what happens when you build rockets. All of my rockets blow up. And for the people who follow me for the last 5 years, I showed them the videos. Hey, this is like, I spent $1,500 on this rocket. I hope it makes it. Boom, it explodes within 10 seconds. You know, and then even our kids. I bought our kids rockets. Right at home, launch, blows up right in the front yard. So rockets don't last. But yeah, I love what SpaceX is doing, and tying this back into the whole Mauna Kea thing. I hope soon that we can put telescopes on the moon or telescopes in space and get us off the Earth because we have an atmosphere that kind of prohibits our ability, we gotta put fake stars 8 miles up in the sodium belt. And
Explain that.
so if you look on any space picture and they look like there's like 3 guide stars. We call it a guide star. So what we do is there's a layer of sodium at about 7.5, 8 miles up.
Wait, a
And-
layer of sodium?
Yeah, sodium.
Like salt?
Yeah, salt gas.
Salt gas
Yeah.
about 8 miles into the atmosphere.
So
Around the Earth?
Around the Earth, yep. And we shoot a high-powered laser.
Yep.
These lasers, I worked at Gemini last year, and my friend got to order like $3 million lasers, 4 of them. So we fixed this on the top of the telescope, and they just shoot 4 laser beams up into this sodium layer. And they join up here, and then we take sample pictures with the telescope. And that's high enough to get out of the Earth's atmosphere. And based on the quality of picture we get from this guide star, we can kind of adjust for the atmospheric turbulence. So this is what TMT was going to specialize in with their 270 something actuating lenses, where they just vibrate and they warp the lens to match the warping of the atmosphere, and we can just get a better picture. Yeah, it's badass science shit, you know?
Ooh, it's way over my head.
It's kind of like
Over our pay grade.
Yeah. I barely finished high school.
Hey, there's
And I got all F's.
there's some stuff above my pay grade too. Even though I'm the scientist in these telescopes, there's some stuff in space that I cannot look at. So they're gonna give us, you know, sometimes they give us like a sheet for every hour, every half an hour. We got this going on, this scientific observation, and then there's like blocks inside here. That's a blackout blocks. There's some like top secret government thing flying overhead, and we gotta shut the whole Mauna Kea down. So for these 25 minutes, every telescope on Mauna Kea mandatory shuts down because some secret stuff is flying overhead.
No way.
Wow.
No way.
So if you think that the Mauna Kea observatories knows what's going on, I don't know what's flying up there. I don't know everything.
Okay. That takes us to the next topic.
Yeah, you gotta go because I have so much right now.
So, what do you think about the Times magazine? They said that they found an aircraft it's not from this Earth. I mean, they said it, right? So it's not a matter of he said, she said.
Yeah.
It's not a matter of opinion. It's
Yeah.
it's not a matter of, I mean, this is for real. They said,
Yeah.
we found it. This is legit. It's in a statement.
and it's time.
What's going on?
Yeah.
Leomana,
Bruh.
tell us. Where are they? Are they looking for Dewey and his cheap ass rental car?
I'm stranded.
Hey,
I'm
that's
still in the
just-
same place.
That cheap rental car is just as good as the alien spaceships they're talking about.
Okay, good.
I tell people, keep praying. Even though I'm not religious, keep praying. All
Yeah.
the spiritual hippie people, keep
Yeah.
doing what you do.
Yeah.
And I think about the alien spaceships, where are they?
Well, is there
Where's-
life? Well,
where's
let
the-
me ask you this: do you believe there's a life form beside us? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, awesome.
Planets.
Yeah.
Planets are alive. Planets eat. Stars are alive. Stars eat planets. Stars die and they explode. They turn into something different. Planets morph. Mars used to have an atmosphere.
Well,
used to
let's
have water.
let's give our audience a little bit of background. So, and I mentioned it earlier when he was working actually at Gemini North Telescope. Him and his team discovered 57 dwarf galaxies. Maybe give us a little bit of background. What is a dwarf galaxy? What does that
Okay.
mean? Because
Yeah,
right
yeah.
now we're in a galaxy, right?
Mhm.
So Earth and our solar system is one galaxy.
Our solar system is just one small group of planets around one star in our galaxy.
One star.
One star. So we have
One
one.
star.
That's it. So our one star has all of the planets, all of the meteors, asteroids, and that's one solar system. A dwarf galaxy is basically saying a galaxy with less than 1 billion stars.
Oh.
So a regular
my
galaxy has
Lord.
1 billion plus. A dwarf galaxy has 1 billion and maybe 500 million to 1 billion. Yeah.
Okay, when you say star, you mean basically, and forgive my
Yep.
ignorance.
No.
So when I look at the sky, right, I see something glittering. That's a
Yeah,
star.
that's a
right?
star.
Well, if I would go closer, would that look like an Earth? Would that look like a Mars?
No,
that would look like Moon?
exactly like our sun. So our sun is a star. We have one. If you look up in space, most of the stars you see are a binary system. So they have 2 stars going like this. And sometimes around the 2 stars, we have 30 planets. Sometimes we have 5 planets. Sometimes we have 100 planets. It just depends on where that star is in the galaxy, how long it's been there, and how much time passed, so that way the rocks and dust can form into a ball from gravity. And yeah, so last year I was working at Gemini North on the project called Scabs with my team lead Matt. And basically what I was in charge of is running our astronomical data. So the picture that we're taking is, we didn't do an optical telescope, so we just get ones and zeros based off of the wavelengths from stars, from the light. So we observe the light, and my job was to write a Python program, so computer coding. I'm going to analyze this data, and I'm going to go pixel by pixel. Is it dark? Is it light? Is it dark? If it's light, analyze all the pixels around it, see how much, we call it a magnitude, see how bright it is basically, and if it's going to get brighter or get dimmer, and just give me that information. And based off of that information and some guide galaxy, we just, that has a magnitude of like 10. We got to match this. If I can match it in the picture, okay, we're going to investigate that a lot more. But we're looking in the area of Centaurus B. So in Centaurus B, that's where we found the 57 dwarf galaxies. And I hope somebody's going to, because it doesn't get confirmed. It takes a lot of money to investigate this shit. So once we find these dwarf galaxies, I got to write a paper on it, and the whole team puts out a scientific paper, and on top of the paper says confirm or unconfirmed. And basically, if you have the money to get it confirmed, then okay, we can name whatever the fuck we want. We can name all the galaxies. I can name it. Usually we attribute it to the telescope or the place that the telescope is at. So that's why we have a lot of Hawaiian things in space, Povehi, Oumuamua, Hi'iaka, Haumea, because those are all found with Hawaiian telescopes. So all the telescopes on Mauna Kea found that stuff. But yeah, basically a dwarf galaxy has less than 1 billion stars. We found 57 of them. I don't get to name any of them because I'm a junior scientist. I'm not leading the project. I didn't, find it all on my own. So I got to give contribution to Hawaii, Gemini, and the team lead.
Wow, that's insane though, to find something like that, and it's such a revelation, right?
Mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing because I think it makes me afraid every day. It keeps me on my toes, and I feel, even though I feel empty on the inside, sometimes when I say, wow, the universe is bigger than I felt, or the universe is bigger than I thought, the farther I look, the more it looks like right here. The farther out in space I look, it looks more like Earth. It looks more like Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. And so you don't got to look far to realize what's out there. You can just fucking look down and be like, oh, this is what's out there. We're out there. And that's kind of like the biggest spiritual, I guess, grounding that I get. Like, oh shit, we're on it. We don't gotta go far.
It's so funny because you live in this duality world, right? There's a side of you who is very spiritual in God, not fearing, but like understood what the Bible says. And this is how you're a scientist. And a lot of times these two things they don't connect, right? They don't agree. How do you, knowing what you know now, you're growing as Hawaiian, and understand how deep Hawaiian goes back to the beginning of time, right? In the beginning, how we come together as society, how we come together as in people, as an island, and now as a scientist, explore the world and explore, not the world, but explore our planet the way it is. How do you, almost like, if you got to stand there in front of a bunch of kids in school, here you are, raised as a Christian, and you're a scientist. Do they live in the same house, different houses?
They live in the same house.
They yeah. So God and science,
yeah,
God and science are together as one.
Always.
Yeah. Can you expand further on that? Expand a little more. How do you derive with that understanding? How do you teach our children or your students that hey, science and God belong?
This is okay. This might be a little bit off track for some people.
Never,
but
not for you, Ron. Not this hour. It's so funny because you are so smart and so technical. A lot of things he says, I'm going, what the fuck he's talking about? But I'm so glad you dumb it down for us, for Jonathan and I can understand. And this would be awesome.
So this is going back into, I guess, my thoughts about aliens, and when you're like, oh, do they exist? And I'm like, keep praying, keep believing in the spiritual stuff. When I started talking about aliens, I was always thinking about stars and what is the fastest thing in the universe, and it's the speed of light, but it's actually called like the speed of actualization or speed of information happening. And I thought, if there's aliens, then they're not going to be flying some spaceship this far. Because the same technology that it takes to travel the distance of space, you could just send over Wi-Fi. It'll be faster. It'll be better than driving there yourself. And so to me, I thought about how do we infiltrate and hack space, the universe? How do we mathematically hack the universe? Because if I can do that, I can open up wormholes. I can open up portals in space, and it got me thinking about religion and politics, because these are all just systems that we can hack. I'm just going to hack this system just like a computer programmer can hack the internet and go into your computer and change some stuff around. How can I do that to the universe? And I started thinking about religions, and when I go to church, somebody must have hacked this already. And the idea of religion being different from science is somebody hacking into these systems and using it for their own benefit and power. Because if you go back through time in history, you'll see that the most religious people are always the most scientifically educated. We know about religion. Always knew about the stars. Religion always.
That's true.
They always knew about the seasons.
Every
and
indigenous group across the globe sees
always.
They look up there to guide them.
True.
Everything that's true. Yeah.
And to me, it's like, as a scientist and I guess having strong spiritual foundations, I don't ever see them. I get confused by other people saying that they're two different things.
Yeah.
And that's been my life, me being confused, because my mom is not scientific, but she's very religious. And I never got past the first page of the Bible without asking 30 million questions. Wait, fucking stars?
Yeah.
Wait, yeah. And the universe was created. And I'm like, don't pass that. Tell me how the planets were made. And my mom could never answer that to me. And so I'm like, man, look, even in the Bible it says space was created. And so I took it from that point right there. They just don't know how it was created because they don't know.
Yeah.
And so to me, it's just systems being hacked by people trying to use it. Just like politicians, we got a lot of politicians hacking the system. We got a lot of hackers hacking
Man
the
and
system.
our egos, right? Man and our egos,
And so to me, it's always
That ruins
spiritual.
the world.
Yeah, it's true.
The manly ego.
Yeah. It ruins everything, right? It wrecks everything. It's like...
And the greed.
What do you think about Donald Trump opening the Space Force? All up for it, eh? Is it for real? So this is...
So they actually have the coolest name. The Marines are called Devil Dogs. We're called Marines. The Navy is called Sailors. I think the Air Force is called Airmen, and the Space Force is called Guardians.
Wow.
Fucking they got the coolest name. Guardians. I guess they went to Guardians of the Galaxy. But I think Space Force is important right now. SpaceX is launching 14,000 satellites. So is Amazon. So is Facebook. So is every other country. They're launching thousands of satellites, and we
basically
need
everyone that has money can launch his own
whatever you like.
satellite.
It's a free for all.
It's a free, so there's no you don't have to ask permission from anyone.
Buy the rockets. That's it. You pay for the rockets, and you want to put something up. It costs 90 million. You're good. And so I think Space Force, we need something to manage this stuff in space, because if we ever want to leave Earth, shit can't be in the way. And even something as small as a can like this, if it hits your spaceship at 6,000 miles per second, everyone is dead.
So do you think one day, we can colonize one of these space and actually have human living there as second options to Earth?
You're talking about Mars or Moon?
Oh, it doesn't matter. It matter because that's what Leon and Jeff is thinking, right? They're thinking about, hey, there's there's an opportunity for us to actually inhabit, beside Earth, right? Create a new society, whatever you want to call it, right?
So what I got interested in the last year was Earth's magnetic field, because Earth is going to die one day. Remember how we talk about life? Is life out there? Well, Earth is alive right now, and that's because we have like magma on the inside, and there's iron spinning around, and a spinning magnetic field is going to create an electric field, which creates a magnetic field. So that's why Earth has magnetic poles. And from my understanding, none of our planets that we can go to has a strong enough magnetic pole. Just like Mars, we cannot create an atmosphere on Mars. We cannot do it on the moon. We don't have a strong enough magnetic field around the planet to protect our oxygen levels, to protect the carbon, the argon that we have floating around that we breathe. And so if we do colonize any planet, they bombed the North Pole of the moon a long time ago with some nukes, and I think even Mars.
What?
Yeah.
The moon?
The moon. Yeah, we're trying to find water. So you remember how I said I looked at the moon and there's craters coming out?
So we as
Earthlings, yes. As humans, we bomb. Yeah. We send missiles to the moon and we bomb the poles because that's where the frozen parts are. So we want to
find the water.
Yeah.
Oh, I never knew that.
Yeah.
Holy
Intense.
crap.
Yeah. So we don't only bomb ourselves, we bomb other planets and moons and stars and stuff.
That's what we do best.
I know.
Drop
We
bombs.
destroy.
Yeah.
I know. It's
Destroy.
funny, right? Human who comes along, we just destroy everything.
You know what? I have this fear that the first thing on the moon going to be a mall. It's probably going to be a mall, right? They're going to be like they're going to be an Old Navy, a Banana Republic. They're going to be a food court, right?
And
Right?
He's right. He's right.
No, you know what I mean?
It's gonna be a PX and a chow hall with a gym.
Yeah.
Because that's what all the guardians are going. They're gonna need that.
Wow.
But the way we're gonna do it is if we take. Okay, so you guys watch The Matrix?
Yeah.
You
Yes.
guys know how the Matrix city was in the earth and it had a tube straight down. So one of the ways we're gonna colonize, not really colonize, because we cannot build society that big, is let's say we figure out how to get rid of the radiation coming off of these bombs. So we constantly bomb one area and we create a just cylinder going down in Earth. A big ass hole.
Yeah.
Yeah. A big ass hole, and then we put a dome over the hole. And so instead of building, a big dome where we live on the inside, we just drill a hole in the Earth, put a cover over it, put oxygen and gas in there, force feed what we need in there. We can grow plants, and then we just live in the hole like a hotel. And that's how they plan on colonizing other planets, because we cannot have an atmosphere on Mars. And so we're going to be living in something. So if you want to
How far do you think it is?
What?
Like how many
far?
years? Like 30, 40, 50, or are we like 20?
Maybe like
Will I
5.
see it
Maybe
while
like
I
4.
live?
You're gonna
In
see
your
it.
lifetime, you think you'll see it?
Yes.
Leomana, you think you'll see it in your lifetime?
I'm trying to sign me and my family
Wait.
up to go.
How old are you?
33.
Wow, in your lifetime, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years.
I think they're gonna get there within the next 5.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's funny. My buddy just sent me like a on Instagram about a guy that sells square footage on
Mars.
on Mars,
And people buy it.
and people buy it.
Already?
He made 11 million of selling pieces of. You can buy 2 acres, 3 acres. It's all good. He takes your money and give you a certificate. Joe Blow.
Yeah.
You have the moon.
You actually get in this business right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. People buy it.
Fuck
Yeah.
the podcast. We need to sell the moon. Fuck.
The dark side of the moon going
Dark
half
side
off
of
right
the
now.
moon.
Yeah.
Dark side
During
of the
COVID.
moon.
COVID special. Yeah.
Yeah.
Signed off by random.
Yeah, man. I mean, people are buying this shit. I can't believe it. He gives them a fucking certificate.
Yeah.
And they give him like
There's a nice map
$100,000.
printed out though. You got a map and some coordinates. And, they put a star and some special words on it. People feel magical about it.
Jeff and Elon Musk is not getting a cut out of this deal, right? Not even 1 cent. What a brilliant business idea.
Brilliant business idea.
I think Elon is like, I think I'm going to go get it first.
Yeah.
you know?
Hey, listen, who are your idols right now currently? When it comes to science, and like, is it Elon? Is it Jeff? Like, is it like, who is it? Are you really looking forward to that really gonna pave the way for you to get more inspired and stoke and hope toward this?
Number one, Elon Musk got to be up there.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a cliche because he's just so popular and he's really advancing humans.
Yeah.
But you gotta give respect where it's due.
Yeah.
He's pushing humans so fast,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
It's not wasting money; it's spending money, and we're, the things that we're accomplishing to the average citizen, to the normal human, it looks like we're blowing rockets
Forget
up.
it.
We're
The fact that he came to the NASA and said, "Boys, look, you do
I'll
that.
give you guys a ride."
You do that for 50 years
Yeah.
or whatever, and you're doing it wrong. Okay,
Yeah.
let me show you how you fly a rocket and bring it back.
And bring it back. I might blow
And
some
like-
up. I might
and
blow
like-
some up.
I
But
might
Yeah.
blow some up in the process, correct? But
That's-
I
yeah.
will bring some back to Earth. This is beyond belief.
It's like the movies now.
It's like a movie,
Yeah.
and knowing where exactly. I mean, this is
He puts
fucking
it back on the
insane.
same
Government,
pad.
private enterprise, right? That's a difference, right? Private enterprise.
Yeah, and he was
the system,
okay.
yeah.
This cost you $5 billion.
Yeah.
let me get it into the millions.
Let me get you this for $1 billion.
And then I'm going to build about 30 of
Yeah.
them and launch them every day. And hey, I'm going to put up freaking 60 satellites every week. And you guys can. So if you guys look in space right now, usually it's around 5 o'clock in the morning. And you just look around in space, you'll see like 60 dots flying in a row.
Those are satellites.
Yeah, my dad and all his pothead friends, every morning they're up. They're like, the aliens are coming. Look,
Yeah.
boy,
I gotta
aliens."
hang out with your dad more. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go visit Dad in Maui. No, for real.
We
I'm
hang
gonna
out
go
with
see.
him a lot.
Yeah,
He hangs out at the Suisan boat ramp with him and his crew.
Hey,
Yeah.
of course. Duh.
It's the
Yeah,
big boat.
boy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a big boat with the Hawaiian flag
Yeah,
upside down.
Pakahana Beach right
Yeah.
there.
They send smoke signals. You cannot
Yeah.
miss them.
Smoke signals.
Listen, we've been rambling on forever. You gotta come back. 'cause
Yeah,
I think,
I'm going to come back to the Mauna Kea, and I really wanted to talk about this. But let me, Walter Lewin. If you guys ask who is my science idols, it's Walter Lewin, because when I first started my astrophysics degree, I had hula, I had psychology. I went to school during the day. I got done at 2. I went straight to my kumu's house and worked all evening. I got home at around 12. At midnight almost every day, and from midnight to 2:30 I fucking went on MIT Open Courseware online, and this professor Walter Lewin, he's a Dutch guy, and I learned my physics from him because he's so interesting in the way he teaches that I sat there for 2 hours every night just taking notes on some YouTube lecture at MIT, and I would do that and school. So on top of psychology and hula, I would spend 2 hours every night, 7 days a week, just watching physics lectures and just being amazed at, he really captivated my, I guess, my enthusiasm for how we look at the universe mechanically, and kind of like an engineer, just putting ideas together. And I got so interested, and I'm like, man, I just want to know how to think. And this is what I want to teach kids. I don't want to teach kids how to build rockets. I don't care how you build shit. I want to teach you how to think about putting ideas and philosophy together. I don't want to tell you what to think. I want to teach you how to think.
Yeah.
I want to teach you how to use the information that you get on your own.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, and so that's what I got from him. And I was like, man, that's always going to be my science idol. I don't want to steal stuff away. I want to give people the blueprints of how to navigate the mind. And I got that from psychology.
What do you see for yourself for the next 5-10 years?
Right now, we got kids, and so everybody with kids out there, they know like, my kid is so fed up with Zoom class, and she got an F in her class because she didn't turn in her work, and then we got on her case, and then she did all her work in a couple of days and got it back up to an A, and all my kids are just 5 different Zoom classes all at once. And so I started a project called the COVID Education Response, to where I'm going out, and you know how your when you're a kid, even your kids, when they're learning STEM applications, when are we ever going to use math?
Never.
When are we ever going to use this science stuff that we're learning?
Never.
I still ask that question to my kids' teachers, and they don't answer it. And so I'm going to answer it now. I'm starting a COVID education response just because I feel passionate about our keiki in Hawaii learning. And
I fucking love you.
Yeah.
What you just said,
So it's
I'm
like-
fucking loving you right now.
when are we ever going to use the math that
Yeah.
the teachers teach you? Here, I'm going to show you. by taking you out on the volcano, and this basic concept of mathematics I'm going to show you. When the volcano explodes in the back of me, watch the rock fly. I'm going to freeze frame, and I'm going to show you all the calculations on how to figure out where that rock lands. You know, I'm going to show you, okay, we're going to go into business, and I'm going to show you how to use these algorithms that we learn in 3rd grade to actually calculate your return on investments. And we're going to look at the whole COVID thing and invest in these vaccine companies. You know, like, how does a vaccine work? How can we tell what the vaccine rates are? I'm going to use basic mathematics and show you, hey, answer your question. This is how we're going to use it. And so I'm going to do that culturally through the lava flow and Pele, and then tell some cultural relevant stories, give STEM applications behind it, and then because we're a big part of conservation, I want to talk about the animals, the plants, and the land management and usage. And so that's kind of where I'm going right now with the, I guess, COVID education response and what am I doing with my life. So I'm going to dedicate this next 6 months to just figuring out how to get our kids back engaged, because they're not engaged right now. They're not engaged with the Zoom.
Yeah,
Very important.
Yeah.
Engage is the initial exchange, is eye to eye. You know, it's those things. It's hard over Zoom because there's nothing there. You know,
And
and
so
I feel bad.
You know also what I saw, I mean, I don't know if it's just my teachers, I mean my kids' teachers.
Yeah.
But is it normal that everybody's eating on Zoom? Is it normal that everybody snacks? Is it like
I don't know.
I don't know. I went to school in Germany when I was young.
Yeah.
Between 1st grade and 6th grade, I went to Germany.
Yeah.
You don't fucking chew.
Hell no.
There's no such thing as chewing while you. I don't care if you Zoom, Boom, Doom, or whatever. You don't fucking chew while the teacher and the teacher is chewing too.
Yep.
Open now, and then she has salad because now she has a healthy week. So it's like.
And now they're using the class time to have lunch, instead of lunchtime. Yeah. Yeah, I guess I got to go back to this whole Mauna Kea TMT thing because it's an important one to me. My family, my dad, and my grandma got arrested on Mauna Kea.
No way.
Yeah. So my dad is in a wheelchair. John Turalde, if you see him, if you see the Mauna Kea pictures, he's that one guy in a wheelchair. And then my Puna, it was at her house when I was 9 years old that I got to look through the telescope at the moon. So both of them got arrested on Mauna Kea alongside with all my friends and families and my uncles and my aunties. But yeah, TMT, I guess it's a weird thing for me because culturally, I want the land for the people. That's all Hawaiian land. That belongs to the people. And especially now with COVID coming out and everybody losing their jobs and the restaurant industry, most of the locals work in the restaurant industry over here, and we're not making enough money to buy our own houses. We're not making enough money to sustain ourselves, especially now that so many people are moving in. The prices for homes went up, and so I want that land for the people first. Above the worshiping an altar and the gods and stuff, I get that. People's spiritual connection is their own, and I have no say in what that is. But when I see Mauna Kea, I see thousands of acres of land and thousands of Hawaiians who showed up to protect that land that need homes. And I want that land so the people can thrive and live, because the Hawaiian community, we suffer from drug abuse, unhealthy lifestyles, diabetes when we're in our 20s. And I hate looking back at who I am and where I come from. I got to inspire my people to be more. And how do I do it? With space, with rockets, with being smart, educated, with being so motivated to just fucking lead the planet. Like, we can lead the planet for real. And that's my main driver. But I can only get there if these kids aren't worried about their house. They're not worried about their food. The parents aren't worried about, I gotta fucking work all day and spend no time with my kid because I only have a minimum wage job, and my kids, I got 4 of them. How am I gonna feed them? How am I gonna house them? And so our kids have a hard educational life because the parents are never around, always working, struggling. The parents, they're not not smart, but they don't have the time to learn mathematics and history on their own. They're too busy working. And so if I can eliminate the stress of working and give families more time together where they're happy, because when we're happy, we're so motivated to get shit done. Yeah, when we're happy, we're inspired to just push hard. We're artistic. I know when I'm happy, I'm so artistic. I can write music. I can come up with hula. I can figure out space. And so Mauna Kea to me is first and foremost about the land. I'm not up there to worship gods on altars. I get that. I understand that. But I need the land for my people. And if I can get the land back, get my people there, TMT, I support all the telescopes on the planet that tries to advance humankind and our understanding of where we are in the universe and how we can explore, the universe. But Mauna Kea is important because the people, the Hawaiians, I need that land. But talking about TMT, I want to use that as a tool to get Hawaiians back out there. That can be my way of saying, hey, we got the most advanced fucking building on the planet. This is the most advanced building on the planet. The most advanced building on the planet. Give the Hawaiians rights to this building. Give this to us. And let our kids lead this way. But we got to have, our kids got to lead the way. We can't just say, oh, we want it.
Yeah.
Our kids got to become scientists. Our kids got to become the astrophysicists, the engineers.
Yes.
And I guess it's me and this other guy from Makaha, Hawaiian, Matt Silva, I think. He goes to Caltech or something. And I want the Hawaiian kids to have this as their tool. Like, hey, bro, this is how you guys are going to lead the planet. But you guys got to get here so I can promote, like, hey, bro, give us this building that we can manage this. And from the other people who's talking about TMT, or the kupuna, or the elders, or the people who are anti-TMT, they're not really anti because they're coming out with, if you pay us $100 million in rent a year, we'll say okay. And when they said that, I don't care about the money. I care about the land. Give my people the land. Give the kids the land. Give the family the land, because off of the land, we can feed the people. We can house them. And they can have an overall better life to where our kids don't gotta fucking be suffering some poverty level that they're stressed out in, and they gotta go to construction. I mean, working construction is fine.
Yeah.
But I want Hawaiian kids.
You want education.
I want education.
100%. Agreed.
Like send the Hawaiian kids to UH Manoa to take Olelo Hawaii, but don't waste the free education on knowing who you are culturally. Go to Halau. Go to learn hula from somebody. We're a strong enough culture to where we can stay at home, learn from our parents what it means to be Hawaiian, and send your kids to be a lawyer, send your kids to be a botanist, send your kids to be a chemist. And that's what I try and promote. I know a lot of the Hawaiian families are they're irritated at me for doing that, but I walk in the Hawaiian studies and say, it's nice to know who you are culturally, but we have other places to learn that. Not in college. Go get a degree that we can lead our people out of this stuff and lead humanity.
I'm an immigrant. I came here at age 11 from Vietnam with nothing. So we have two choices. I mean, you look at an immigrant society in this country, right? So it's very simple. And that's why you see so many, immigrant from everywhere, and especially mostly Asian culture, right? It's like, hey, the only way out of poverty is education. And I'm sitting here with college degrees and all that crap, and I'm like, I questioned the education system in America, right? But however, I don't think my life and all my 6 siblings be the same without education. So the importance of education, it's only way, right? And that's why you have all these people from all over the world, especially third world developed country, come to the United States to get educated, to get a bachelor degree from the United States. They can go back and better their lives. What you said is so powerful, but I think it's more important. There's one more further step, I believe. It's like we gotta build a support system, right, that give these young children from poverty in this whole place that we love so much an opportunity. Because just like you felt like you were a dummy. I felt too, because I didn't grow up speaking this language. I didn't grow up, Me
too.
Yeah. And
only in 10th grade I
was
English.
A father age 19. So everything stacked against me. But the only voice I had was my father said, you don't finish college, you're going to be and that was the only driving force. I didn't know any better. Do I use the education in my life? Not really, but it gave me a sense of self-esteem, a confidence that, hey, I'm capable. And that was it. That's what it was. I'm so much in agreement with what you're saying, Leomana.
I think one of the reasons why we do that is
Yes.
to bring people like him,
Yeah, absolutely.
to expose people like
Yes.
him to our audience so they can understand. It's like,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter if you come from Hilo, from Kihei, from
Kalapana,
Nanakuli.
yes.
I don't care where you come
Yes.
from. If you set your mind that you want to succeed in life and you set your mind that you want to do it, it'll
You have
happen.
it.
And
we
he is
need-
the
we-
living. He is the
yeah,
living.
yeah. But you also need a supporting group. You're so lucky you found mentors, and I think we need more men like you. And hopefully we can create a bunch of mentors that can pull these children and give them hope.
Okay, so what you moved over here at age 11.
Yeah,
Do you
yeah.
remember what the education was like back where you came from?
Yes.
Before that?
Beside English,
Yeah.
math, I was doing calculus at
Okay,
age
yeah.
11.
Yeah,
You know, so
I was too in Hawaiian immersion.
Yeah.
And it's, I guess, when I grew up and I saw the public schools, I kind of thought like factory worker. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. And all these Hawaiian immersion schools a long time ago when this first started, I got straight Fs. But my teachers, they didn't really care about, I get not the education, but they cared about character. They didn't give a shit about, can you remember 10 times 10 plus 5? I don't know. Do you love your family? Do you
That's
have a good
great
character?
teacher.
Do you understand when to talk and when not to talk? Do you understand these things? And they built character, and that and to me that's what is
100%.
important. Yeah, and
100%.
and now when I look around at schools, I kind of like, man, I think the teachers don't care about character enough because they're overpopulated, and they're not giving the free rein. Because even in 3rd grade, my teacher fucking duct taped me to the chair because I talk too much, and he's like, "You want to talk too much and disrupt my class? I'm gonna tape your mouth shut."
Yeah.
Little. Sit in class, shut up and listen. And my parents 100% agreed. If you gotta tape him, tape his mouth shut because he cannot stop talking and he's interrupting the class, then you teach him to be quiet at all costs. And my teachers had the free reign to do that. That was back in the 90s in Hawaiian immersions.
You can't do that.
Yeah, you cannot do that
cannot.
now.
Yeah. And that's a whole different subject. You
Yeah.
got to come back. I think
Yeah.
you're so fascinating. You got to come back and spend more time with us, please.
Definitely, yeah.
100%.
Yeah,
we went down that.
You know what? I'm excited. I'm like, just going off. I'm like, my time is limited. Let's pack this.
Yeah.
No, man, 90 minutes flew by. And
Yeah.
Leomana, I really, really want to thank you for coming in. And, you know, me and Dewey, we always like to do something very special for our guests.
All right.
Blow something up right now.
Yeah.
There we go. We're going to award Leomana our Aloha Hour Hama Award.
What?
You get the Hama Award.
Yeah.
And before we're going to leave, we have for you 5 What Would You Rather questions.
Okay.
Leomana, are you ready?
Oh, thank you for this hammer. We call this hamale.
Yeah.
In Hawaiian, we call this the hamale. I'm gonna rebuild
All
something
right.
on Mauna Kea.
Are you ready, Leomana?
Yes, fire away.
All right. What would you rather? Own a hula school in Kentucky
Oh.
or own a school for astrophysics in Nanakuli?
Give me Nanakuli.
Skydive or freedive?
Oh. I haven't skydived in a couple of years. I used to skydive at Skydive Hawaii, and with the Marines. So let's go skydive. We're
Let's
just
go
talking about it
skydive.
this morning.
All right. And number 3, what would you rather? Be Superman and run out of powers or Bruce Wayne and run out of money?
Oh shit. Give me Bruce Wayne and the money because he's still popular. Yeah. He's still got friends.
That was a good one.
What would you rather? Have X-ray vision or read minds?
Ooh.
Oh, you know what? Give me X-ray vision. I think if I read people's mind, I'd probably go crazy. Yeah.
You got a point.
Smart.
Okay, now, what would you rather? Dance hula in an astronaut suit or land on the moon in a tea leaf skirt?
Give me the moon and a tea leaf skirt.
That was so good.
Right on.
Listen,
Leomana, thank you, everybody. Thank you to all the audience. We love you. Thank you
Aloha,
for tuning
guys.
in.